part of the Press Play Podcast Network.
Look up in the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane,
This is Jason J. Lewis, the voice of Superman on Justice League Action. This is Mark Wade, writer of Superman Birthright, and you're listening to the Krypton Report.
Welcome to this month's Actor Spotlight. And before we get started talking about Mr. Tyler Hoechlin, because that's how I've heard it said, time to crack open my already open Zoa because I'm really thirsty. And I really wish Zoa would sponsor this podcast, but I need energy and it's probably going to keep me sane for a while. That's not my favorite flavor because orange is, and you need to drink the orange. But hey, how's everybody doing? Let's talk about Mr. Hoechlin here. He was born September 11th in 1987, and he was born in Corona, California. He went to San Diego High School, and he's described as Native American, German, Irish, and some others, which seems pretty common for a lot of Americans. I know I have a blend of things. His main focus, though he started acting young, was baseball. He earned a college scholarship for baseball, and he went, but in his junior year, after pulling a hamstring, his coach basically told him to pursue acting. He was acting, through his career, through his life. And it's interesting because he got a scholarship for Arizona State, went there for a year, transferred back to UC Irvine. And what I find very fascinating is during this baseball time, he had a successful baseball career and everything, is he was actually missed auditions with Francis Ford Coppola and turned down Emmett Cullen for the Twilight films. Quite glad he did that. He started in commercials as a baby, which led him to a successful audition at an acting school and obtained an agent. His role at age 11 of Happy Hunting, a Disney sing-along song. At 13, he was selected from 2,000 auditions to play Michael Sullivan Jr. in Road to Perdition, alongside Tom Hanks and Paul Newman. Pretty awesome that he got to do that. He got awards for that, which later let him go on to be in Seventh Heaven. He was in it, and I watched that show here and there, but I don't ever remember him because I didn't watch it constantly. He got awards for that, and then he ended up doing a lot of smaller other TV projects, including CSI Miami, My Boys Castle, and did a few smaller films such as Grizzly Range, Solstice, and then a small part in the movie Hall Pass, which, if you've ever seen that movie, wasn't great, and I hate that it's called a Hall Pass. Why is it not just a free pass? It makes no sense. Hoechlin played Derek Hale in the television series Teen Wolf, which is where I got to know him, and because I watched it for a reason we'll talk about later in trivia, and because I love werewolves. And it was actually a really good show. It's probably the best original MTV thing they've ever done. And what's funny is while he was filming, he lived in Georgia with Tyler Posey and Dylan O'Brien. Tyler Posey, who was on Smallville. Da-dun-da-dun. And he would later, Mr. Hoechlin, Tyler, would later go on to be in a small indie film directed by Richard Linklater called Everybody Wants Some. It was a baseball movie, which makes complete sense why Tyler would do it. He did not have to audition for Superman and Supergirl. He was just producer Gregor Berlanti just wanted him to have the role, and he went on to do an amazing job as Superman. He is our current Superman, people, and as much as we all love Henry, we don't. His fate is not known, but we do know that we have Tyler right now as Superman, and Lois is in the midst of about to begin their third season. And he's fantastic. I love his Superman. I actually would prefer a little bit more of his Superman at times, but I do love all the characters on the show. As quoted, Tyler said, describing the casting as surreal. Tyler hoped he could successfully embody the optimism of the character and maintain the ideal of Superman as a symbol of hope. He appeared in 4 episodes of the show's second season of Supergirl, was nominated for multiple awards. He later went on to be part of the different crossovers of Elseworlds and Crisis on Infinite Earth before getting, in 2019, the confirmation for Superman and Lois, which went straight to series and would premiere later in February 23rd, 2021. Thank you, COVID. He did have a part in 50 Shades Darker, which was cut, but he did appear in a small part in 50 Shades Freed, which was weird because my wife, Jania, wanted to see those movies. I remember the first one, parts of the second one. I don't think I ever watched the third one. He then went on to play in the post-apocalyptic thriller The Domestics with Kate Bosworth, who Kate Bosworth is the worst Lois Lane to ever appear on screen. At me, people. He also went on to do a romantic movie called Can You Keep a Secret? With Alexandra Daddario, who did a Lois Lane in the animated film Superman Man of Tomorrow. That is a good film with a great cast that could actually translate into live action. I've done a job of trying to watch as many of Tyler's works as I can. And the one that was I really did enjoy a lot was the film Bigger, which was about Joe Weider, who is the International Federation of Bodybuilders muscle and fitness magazine. It was a really good movie. And that's kind of a quick summary of Tyler. If you're wondering why this seems shorter, it's because I actually just recorded this and something was wrong with the file and the mic, and I lost everything I recorded and had to try to go back again, and I'm actually running out of time. But Tyler being, still in the zeitgeist, look for more conversation about Tyler as we talk about Superman and Lois and his work and just the great things he has brought to the character of Superman that we are truly blessed to have. So, Mr. Hoechlin, I hope to meet you because we were supposed to meet you in 2020 in February at a convention in Cleveland. And lo and behold, wouldn't you know it, COVID happened and my wife didn't feel comfortable going. So we did not get to make it and have him added to our wall of Superman family pictures. We're going to press pause and hear a few words from our other podcasts on Press Play Podcast Network.
Hello, Brooks here with the Books with Brooks monthly book club podcast. Here's how Books with Brooks works. We read one book a month and then we talk about it. Classics like Stephen King's The Shining, debut novels like We Are the Brennans by Tracy Lang, and tons of other compelling, life-changing stories, one book and 1 month at a time. So come read along with us and then listen in.
If you are like Tyler and James and can't get enough super talk, check out these other podcasts. Digging for Kryptonite, Supergirl Radio, The Last Sons of Krypton, the Superboy Legacy Podcast, All-Star Superfans, Superman the Animated Podcast, The Aspiring Kryptonians, Always Hold On to Smallville, Caped Wonder, The Geek of Steel, and Truth, Justice, and Hope Podcast.
This is Dan Jurgens, and if you want to have a good time, keep listening to the Krypton Report.
So we're testing here at a mic issue. Hopefully it's fixed. I apologize. Tyler has become my favorite Superman, as I was saying, and it's no question why. The dad aspect really helps, and just it feels a connection. I mean, the Tyler and Tyler thing, that kind of plays a little bit, but whatever. Story, we were on to meet Tyler in 2020, late February, right before the shutdown, and we were going to a Cleveland convention, and my wife was like, she was feeling uneasy about it, so we didn't go. But we were going to add him to our wall of Supermen, where we have our pictures with Dean Cain, Tom Welling. So, yeah, it was going to be a new addition. It's kind of a bummer, but what are you going to do? He is 6 foot tall, which makes him right there on the bottom list of the height of Superman, with the tallest being Chris at 6'4". Now, let's get into some trivia, see what we can find out. He auditioned for the role of Max in Charlie's Angels Full Throttle, but lost to Shia LaBeouf. Owns a red Hummer H2. Let's see. Now, this is what's interesting. This is what kind of drew my attention to him and had me go back and rewatch and watch all the way through all of Teen Wolf. Was considered by Zack Snyder and Warner Brothers for the role of Bruce Wayne / Batman in Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, but lost out to Ben Affleck when they decided to go with an older Batman and wanted a bigger star. Of course, later he would go on to be Clark Kent and Superman. So, thought that was pretty awesome. Another thing that was funny is his prom date was Katie Cassidy, who was Dino / Laurel Lance, the Black Canary, Black Siren in Arrow. Was as old as Melissa Benoist, 28 years old when cast as Superman on Supergirl, though his incarnation of Superman is supposed to be 12 years older than his cousin. And they have the great dialogue of Kryptonians age slower as they get older. And I was like, okay, I'll go with it. Is shorter and younger than Makad Brooks, who portrays Jimmy James Olsen. I can't remember how old Makad is, but yeah, he seems like a pretty tall dude. Let's see, personal quotes. My girlfriend and I never let each other forget how much we love each other. It's all about reminding the other person how important and special she is to you. If I'm in the gym, I'll stay for a while, and I'm not usually in a hurry to leave. I love going to movies by myself. Great. I like it. On his portrayal of Superman on Supergirl, I never try to compare and contrast my performance because it's such an iconic character already. Superman is Superman, so I'm just going to try to carry on the tradition and let that part play. The first couple of times, it definitely took longer to get into the suit. I started to think that Superman's greatest power was actually being able to jump into the suit as quickly as he does, because it's not quite as smooth the first couple of times you do it. And that was the suit for Supergirl. So that's my quick episode on Tyler. I think he's a good actor. I've enjoyed him in everything I've seen him in, and I try to seek out stuff that he's in. And I'm enjoying him as Superman and Lois. I hope to meet him one day at a convention. And that's it. So, all right, everybody. Take care. And catch you next time. And remember.
Look up in the sky. Yes, it's me, Sailor.
We just want to say, if you've enjoyed this podcast, please check out other podcasts on the Press Play Podcast Network. Remember to check out Krypton Report on all social media platforms. Go to linktree.com/Krypton Report. You find all of our information right there. $1 a month, you'll get extra special content that you don't get on the main show, like movie commentaries and whatever else comes out of our mouths. So check it out, patreon.com/Krypton Report.